Yo, what's up, guys? You got PokeAim here, and if you didn't know, I'm a competitive Pokemon player. I absolutely love competitive Pokemon and all aspects of Pokemon itself. But in Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm extremely limited in what I can do because of this big problem with the Sword and Shield timer. For those that don't know, the battle timer in Pokemon Sword and Shield is only 20 minutes long. Now, this is not enough time at all to do really any type of battles, I would say, that involve 6v6 or Draft League, because you have 40 seconds to Dynamax, right? So that's already counting down the timer. It's counting down this entire time. It's counting down whenever you're picking a move. At the end of the day, most battles are going to end 6-4 or 5-5. Even if everybody's using really fast-paced, hard-hitting teams, it's just simply not enough time. Now, in previous generations, this was not a problem. Last generation, we had a 60-minute timer. Games were able to be completed, and it was really beneficial for people, not only the players, but also the community as well, because if you're trying to get into competitive Pokemon, it's really nice to be able to hear the person's thought process as opposed to a rush thought process that they have to do with a 20-minute timer. So this was really nice. It wasn't really broken. Everybody liked it, right? There was nothing wrong with it. And even though VGC is the standard of competitive Pokemon, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I love doubles. I think VGC is a great meta, and I enjoy watching Worlds. I think that you got to remember that this timer is really excluding so many other people because it's only one aspect of competitive Pokemon, right? Just to bring it or level with you, I used to love watching the anime, right? Waking up every single morning, or Pokemon cartoon, whatever you want to call it. Waking up, Saturdays and watching it. And the whole premise of the anime was Ash Ketchum catching Pokemon, right? And having his team of 6 taking on the Pokemon League and whatnot. And even going to the games, right? You play through every single game in a way that you get your strongest team of 6 or whatever fun mons or whatever you want to do, however you want to play through the game. It's your choice. But you end up with a team of 6, right? Usually, and unless you're trying to do one of those single Pokemon challenges, and you get to the Elite Four and you try to become champion, right? The game brings it in a way that you're at least knowing about singles Pokemon, right? But in Sword and Shield, this is just something we cannot do. There is just simply not enough time. I think that the biggest thing with the timer is how it makes you feel after you play a game, right? If I am battling my friend and the game ends at 6-5, right? And it says I've won. There is no satisfaction in that, right? It's not complete. The game is not complete. It's not over. Yet the timer is dictating that the game is over and that I've won, but I don't feel that way, right? And this is why we really do need this change to the timer. And it really is a simple change, Pokemon Game Freak, whoever is listening, hopefully you guys end up doing for this, or listening to this rather. But it really is a simple change because all they really have to do is send us an updated rule that either allows us to make our own timer or just have a 60-minute timer with chess timer, or even just 60 minutes total without counting animations or anything like that. This was not a problem in the past, and I know that a lot of people feel the exact same way that I do. I used to upload so many Wi-Fi battles on this channel. I used to battle viewers and play games, and so many people on YouTube used to do that. But with Sword and Shield, it's just really hard. And again, there's nothing wrong with playing VGC. There's nothing wrong with playing Battle Stadium 3v3 at all. I love those as well. But it just sucks. It just sucks that you're limiting a way that people can play this game and giving this game longevity, or it loses out on its longevity because, I mean, at the end of the day, a Pokemon game is what you make it, right? You play through the story, you're either basically done, you can do some max raids in this, you can do some Dynamax adventures, or you can battle people, right? But if you're limiting the amount of people that can battle in the way that they want to battle, overall, it's just not a good experience. So, again, I ask that Pokemon or Game Freak or Nintendo or anybody watching this that has some sort of influence, just, consider changing the timer, either giving us the ability to set our own rules, because they are in the game, they are coded in the game. Unfortunately, they're only for LAN mode, not for Wi-Fi. And just either give us a 60-minute timer or just give us a chess, like 60-minute total timer, or a chess timer that allows us to actually play in an easy way, right? That there's no workaround. We can go directly to a chess timer. If I want to play my friend across the world and I want to connect with them, I can easily do it and have a full battle. Now, for those that actually feel the exact same way as I do, I feel like if there's enough people discussing something, we can get it noticed. So I ask that if you want to tweet about this, use the hashtag #BringBackTimer and either retweet the original tweet that I have with this video as well, and just in a respectful manner talk about what the timer means to you, what it did for you, how it stopped you from playing, or how you feel about it from there. And I actually asked a lot of my friends around the community that play different aspects of Pokemon or different ways of Pokemon. I wanted them to give their opinion on this. So without further ado, let them take it away.
I've been playing competitive Pokemon for over a decade, and one of the most frustrating things about Pokemon Sword and Shield is that there is no extended timer for the 6v6 mode. We ran into this issue in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee with a shortened timer, but we were able to kind of navigate that with a lot of features being removed, like held items and kind of other things like that. It was pretty fast-paced gameplay, but in Pokemon Sword and Shield, the 6v6 battle format is incredibly hurt and hindered and in many ways unplayable because the battle timer has not been extended. I'm not a game developer, but I would imagine it's very, very simple for them to increase the battle timer to allow for a 6v6 battle game mode to take place in more efficient conditions. Otherwise, right now, those battles are way too quick and you're not able to execute the proper strategies, and single battles are basically dead. And it's really unfortunate. I've been doing draft league competitive single battles for many, many years, in addition to just regular ranked Smogon battles, and it's really, really sad to see the singles metagame get so destroyed by simply a timer. So this is my plea to Game Freak, Pokemon, and Nintendo to simply increase the battle timer and create a new rule set for single battles to allow players like myself, Joey, and many more to play single battles with an extended timer and ultimately be able to utilize the strategies that we want to be able to use and create fun and entertaining content for the Pokemon fans across the world.
Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and Joey asked for a couple of my opinions regarding the timer in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Now, I'm primarily a VGC player, and I think we're lucky in VGC to have a pretty solid timer, but I grew up as a competitive singles player before getting into VGC way back in Gen 4, and I've also played in a couple of singles draft leagues, and I think it is definitely disappointing that there is no official hour-long timer in the game. Because, 6v6 singles was kind of the classic way to play competitive Pokemon for so many years and so many generations. And it's just a lot harder to do so now with a 20-minute timer. Having played, tried out the 20-minute timer, it's super, super limiting. It's really difficult to have, a full 6v6 battle with that kind of timer. So I like the chess timer that they introduced in this generation, and I feel like it would be really easy for them to just create a new rule set where it's 60 minutes with either a chess timer or no chess timer at all. And that's something that I really hope they're considering doing, because I think it'd be pretty easy to do. Over on the VGC side, they introduced brand new rule sets that you can download in-game every couple of months to follow the official format. So I don't see why, they couldn't create one of those for competitive singles. So I really hope that that's something they're considering. I always believe that you should enjoy competitive Pokemon however you want to, whether it be singles, doubles, Smogon rules, or just, battle stadium rules in game. So it'd be really great for them to reintroduce that, just because, that's what so many of us grew up playing. It's just, like I said, one of the classic traditional ways to play competitive Pokemon. And I feel like there's no reason it should be so difficult to just play 6v6 singles in-game without a huge time constraint. So those are my 2 cents, and hopefully we get to see that in the near future.
Back in the day, during the Zat Chat era, Diamond and Pearl's Wi-Fi battle feature was a lot of people's introduction into competitive Pokemon. And those games had long animations that we couldn't turn off, and even longer HP bar drops. Having a long timer allowed for these battles to actually finish. Now today in Sword and Shield, we still have long animations that we still can't turn off versus other people, by the way. But now we have an even shorter timer. This doesn't allow for most 6v6 battles to actually finish via KOing every Pokemon. And a battle going to time after 20 minutes while Pokemon aren't KO'd just isn't as satisfying. Also, while watching battles on YouTube, hearing a good player's thought process is pretty essential for the experience. This is less likely to happen if they have to scramble to finish the battle in 20 minutes. So please, I humbly ask to at least be given the option to change the timer into whatever we want. And that way the community can decide what an appropriate time limit is.
Now listen. Veteran Pokemon battler, I got some things to say. First thing being, and I think I speak for all of us when I say this, we simply do not enjoy a limited experience. Things now are so different than they were just a few years ago that it's very odd that the timer is only 20 minutes. Why not give us the ability to customize the rules any way we want? Because that way we can enjoy the game in so many different ways. I should be able to set the rules to anything that I so please, and as long as my opponent agrees with them, we should be able to have all the fun in the world. But instead we're limited to 20-minute battles, which brings me to my second point. 20 minutes is simply not practical in a lot of different situations. Especially when the timer runs through Dynamax animations, which take about 40 seconds. It runs when you're picking a move. It runs after you pick your move. It always runs. So the battle is 20 minutes from start to finish. It's not a chess timer. It's simply 20 minutes total. Despite all of the extremely long animations that you may or may not encounter. So, once again, we feel extremely limited. If we could play by any rules we wanted, which I really am struggling to understand why we can't, we wouldn't feel so limited. I have not played a singles Wi-Fi battle in over a year now. Maybe that's not true. Maybe like 11 months, 10, I don't know. It's been a while. So that's all I got to say.
I think without a doubt, everybody can agree that Sword and Shield are the games that have most heavily focused on the battling aspect. The game is all about gyms, and there's even a VGC gym leader. You know, this game is all about battling. You know, that's part of the reason why they removed some of the Pokemon, to balance the game and change it up and make it so you use Pokemon you typically wouldn't use because there's no other option. You know, like Sword and Shield is about battling. So it just blows my mind that they limited us to a 20-minute timer. That can be the standard by all means, but I think we definitely need a longer, we need options. We need the choice to have a 60-minute timer if we want to. Maybe not for competitive play, maybe not for official tournaments, nothing like that, because, you know, 20 minutes I think is fine for VGC. But if I want to do like a 6v6 battle with a friend, I don't want to have to like rush click my moves. And actually, personally, I mainly play multi-battles, which is four player. And it's really hard to get everyone to make their moves and actually complete a battle within 20 minutes. For fun games that aren't, I guess, competitive or anything like that, I think we need a 60-minute timer. Just the option would be nice. Like, it doesn't matter if it's standard, as long as we have the option for it. That's all we're really asking for here.
Nintendo, you can fix this. You can fix the situation right here, Nintendo. All you have to do is bring back the old time controls for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I don't know why you removed it to begin with. Maybe you didn't really think about it or something, or maybe it's something to do with the your resources, how much stuff you can allocate to what. I don't really know. I don't know. But I'm not the only one that would greatly appreciate if you bring back some of the longer time controls to Pokemon Sword and Shield again. Like, I understand the VGC is the official format, yada yada yada, but there's way too many singles players. There's way too many that are used to longer time controls. And whether you meant to do it or not, you kind of excluded some of us. You know, some of us enjoy that longer, slower play style where we can sit there and think about our turns and whatnot. Think of it like classical chess, you know. Sometimes some people just like that. Not everyone wants to play like rapid chess or bullet or whatever. Point being is, I do miss playing Draft League with my friends, but unfortunately, because of y'all's timer situation, that's one of the reasons why I'm currently not. So I would appreciate you bringing back. Yeah, and you can reunite me with this thing. I had to put that in there, Joey. I had to put that in there.
Hey guys, I'm Duncan. I make content here on YouTube under the name Duncan Can't Die, and I am a competitive Pokemon player. Well, normally I'd call myself a competitive Pokemon player. Compared to Joey, who you're watching, clearly, not so much, but I try my best, and I used to upload a lot of Pokemon Wi-Fi battles, and this timer has made that impossible for me. I don't think a 20-minute timer is good enough for a 6v6 singles battle. You can still do VGC, and I do free-for-alls, but even in free-for-alls, we had to change the rules so that they would be concluded within 20 minutes, and we've had several time out. It isn't enough time. And the thing that really gets to me about it all, the thing that I want to focus on, is how ridiculously unnecessary it is. The rules exist within the game. They are coded within the game for variable timers, for different styles of timers, for timers that stop while move animations happen. And all of that is coded into the game, and the ability to edit those rules live and set the rules you want is coded into the game for LAN, but not for Wi-Fi. It's a ridiculous distinction. There is no reason to take that choice away from Wi-Fi players. It's not server stress because it's peer-to-peer. The servers are just there to make the connection. It doesn't make any sense to take those options away from players, and it would be the smallest update to the game, less than 1 megabyte. Like, you wouldn't even see it download the new version of the game that would allow you to then set those rules for your own Wi-Fi battles online. It just makes zero sense. So the reason it's so frustrating is, one, it restricts a complete battle style. 6v6 battles, 20 minutes, it's just not viable. You will time out more often than you will finish your battle. And two, it's so easy to remedy. It's so easy to fix. So that's the bit that I can't get to. And I'm sure everybody else in this video has explained why it's such a problem. But the bit that really gets to me is, why is this problem even here? It's completely unnecessary. So yeah, I think Pokemon, please give us the ability to change our timers. Give us those 60-minute battle timers, please. Thank you.
Yo, what is up YouTube? James back here, a VGC player for over 10 years now, as well as someone who has been making Pokemon content for over 5 years now, here to discuss a problem that has been introduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that mainly has been a concern specifically in singles, which has been the timer. So one thing about the timer in Sword and Shield, if you don't know, in Generation 8, all battles are capped to towards 20 minutes. So you only have 20 minutes, including animations and the time you pick your moves, to actually have the battle. And once those 20 minutes are up, the battle is over regardless. So in previous generations, this was no longer a problem. Actually, battles were able to be capped up to an hour, I believe, for previous games, and you could have a battle, and 16 minutes is a lot different from 20 minutes, I'll tell you that much. And this is a problem because in 6v6 battles, they're pretty much undoable in the actual game because of the fact that you have 20-minute timers. Now, as someone who's been able to like enjoy singles, I've enjoyed watching singles, especially the days of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire with like Shady Penguin in the 6v6 battles. I really did like to enjoy, as well as people like Joey, for instance, who, you know, did Wi-Fi battles in the Generation 7 in Sun and Moon. I really did enjoy watching those battles, and they were really fun, and I always like to play it for fun during my free time. And yeah, watching these draft leagues, for instance, the WBE and the GBA, were huge inspirations, really fun content that I really did enjoy watching. But overall, because of Sword and Shield with the 20-minute timer cap, it's really been hard, I think, for the singles community in general, especially for anyone who wants to do 6v6. Not even just draft league, 6v6 battles have just been impossible to create because of this 20-minute time limit. So it's really been affecting those kind of content creators, and personally, I think it's a real drag. And I felt like this was a big problem, especially when I was able to experience it when I was invited to play in the WBE, thanks to Joey and Dan, aka Drive. And yeah, I really was excited to play for the WBE, as it was a pretty big deal. I really did enjoy watching the WBE in previous seasons, and I really want to have that singles experience. However, with the 20-minute time cap, it felt like we had to rush moves constantly. You can argue that yes, chess timer can make a battle longer than an hour of a time limit. Both players have to make their moves very fast in order for this to be possible. It's not really a big thing, especially when you want to consider your moves and make sure you're not making any mistakes, or especially players that like to take it slower. So yeah, this is a really big drag, especially for the singles community, and I really do think that an older timer would be great. I think it'd also work for other content creation as well, not just 6v6 in singles. It could work for doubles as well. And I think there are, like, you know, some interesting stuff, like maybe like metronome battles that could be affected by this as well in the 6v6 content. Basically, I think there are a lot of different battle formats that could potentially benefit from older time, or maybe just like a time change in general where you're able to pick different rule sets, maybe have like an hour as an option like we had in previous games. But yeah, just having a 20-minute timer for all battles in general, I think just really sucks, unfortunately. And I really wish that they would be able to implement, you know, a new timer system and give us that option to change the battle timer of the overall games.
Hey guys, Joey reached out to me because he said he was making a video on the timer and asked for my thoughts, and so figured I'd just share a little bit of what I think about the fact that there's no 60-minute timer or even, long timer in Sword and Shield for singles. Obviously, I'm not a singles player. I'm a VGC player. And even though I've, played singles before, and I actually started competitive Pokemon in singles many years ago, I'm really, at my core, a VGC player. That being said, of course, the fact that there isn't a 60-minute timer or, any timer beyond, I think, 20 minutes in the game for singles, it doesn't affect VGC at all. We have our own, independent timer, but I still do have an opinion on the fact that we don't have a way of playing 6v6 singles effectively in game. I think it's unfortunate. I think that there's a lot of Pokemon that is lost and a lot of Pokemon that cannot be played on the game itself because there's not a way of playing it because the timer is too short. And even though, of course, like I said, I'm not a singles player, I do play Draft League, and I do consider myself like decent at singles Draft League, and so it's unfortunate that in order to it basically like it kills most Draft League formats, most Draft Leagues, right? We were fortunate in that we found a workaround for the WBE, but it's a bit of a hassle to set up, and it's a workaround. It's nothing more, and even still, it has its flaws. If you watched the WBE this season, you saw that a lot of games went down to player time. It's a solution to use a chess clock instead of an overall game timer. So yeah, I think it's unfortunate. I think that people love singles, and even though I don't personally play much singles myself, I still think that the option should be there. And there's I love VGC, and I love doubles, and I'm always gonna be a doubles player at heart. But I still think that if you enjoy singles and you want to play 6v6 singles on the game, you should be able to. I don't see any reason why that shouldn't be a feasible thing. We shouldn't have games ending in 20 minutes because that's not enough for singles, and I don't think anyone who's played believes that it is. So yeah, I mean, ideally they would fix it. They would add, it should be a simple fix, right? Just type in 60 minutes on the rules document, just put it in there. But it's unfortunate, and I do think that a lot of gameplay suffers because of the fact that we can't have 6v6 singles on cart. So yeah, sub to Joey.
So again, thank you everybody for watching and listening, and thank you to all my friends who said a few pieces about what they thought about the timer. Of course, like I said, if you guys want to support, if we want to get this viral, if we want to get Game Freak, Pokemon, Nintendo, whoever to notice, use the hashtag #BringBackTimer and let them know. Let them know why you think the timer should come back. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.